Hello, I'm Rob.
And I'm Angie.
And together, we are Twinfinity.
We are twin flames in union who've been sharing our journey through a series of videos. This is video number 16. It's called The Last Love Letters, or as Rob likes to call it,
The Lasting Love Letters. We had two titles for this one.
Back in the day, it was The Last Love Letters because it was the last letters we wrote to each other, but since we've come back into union all these many years later, they're lasting love letters. So
yes.
Quite a play on words and very appropriate. I loved it.
Okay.
So you're going to do a little recap for us?
A little recap, yes. Okay. From last video, I was distracting myself through a karmic relationship. And Angie was supposed to meet with Beth, but strangely, they could not seem to find each other that day, so Angie spent her time sending more love to me.
I was being blocked by angels from spending time with my friend because I was supposed to send all my energy to Rob.
In last video, there was also lots of angel poetry focused on love and marriage,
Yes.
which didn't seem very likely then.
No.
Okay, and we are still seeing each other for the odd movie and trips to the airport to watch airplanes. And also, the angels sent a message to Angie saying that our auras have merged and that Angie does not need to spend lots of time sending me love anymore.
Yes. Before we get into this video, we just wanted to apologize for the last one. I did an update on my computer and it's been doing weird things. The hard drive seems to run, which kind of caused the muffled noise, and that drained the battery. So our video died just as we were finishing. I was just finishing reading the last bit and then we were going to say goodbye.
Yeah, she was just setting her book down and we were going to say our goodbyes and it didn't work.
Yeah. But we decided to keep it, though, because we wanted to retain the authenticity of emotion that came through when Rob was reading the letters that I had written to him many years ago. And then also the funny reaction he had to the angel poetry, because he'd never heard or seen any of this before. So
the rest of the video had just been so good and had worked so well that we kept it with what flaws it had. And
yeah.
There'll probably be flaws in videos of the future, but that is just the way of things.
Yeah. So anyway, we just wanted to say we're sorry it cut off at the end, but you didn't miss anything other than our goodbye. So
there we are.
And before we get into this one, are you going to explain where we are?
Yeah, we are in our kitchen, facing out towards a couple of the neighbors' places. We've got a little bit of a winter wonderland behind us. It snowed a lot yesterday, and there's the odd snowflake coming down today.
Yes, we actually tried to do this yesterday, but we had computer problems again. So we think we've solved them in a weird way. But oddly enough, yes, oddly enough, it's still snowing. So I was happy because it was really snowing yesterday. And it was so pretty. So we wanted to capture the snow, but it is what it is. We'll do our best with the little bit of snow that we have. So yes, this is our backyard. We've actually done a video from kind of up, well, maybe not those trees. But
out there about another 10, 15 yards.
Yeah. So now we're going to do a video inside because, as you can see, it is snowing.
And it's cold out.
Yes. All right, so carrying on from where we left off, I'm now going to start at June 20th, 1998 in my journal. So I was writing that Rob called at 7:30 and left a message saying he'd be busy all weekend. Now, we were just starting to get reacquainted and reattached with each other. We were now spending more time together, so I was sad when he left that message. So I wrote, I cried, and I cried, because I was thinking I wasn't going to see him all weekend. So then I wrote, Rob called again. He was going to get gas and wanted to know if I wanted to come. Interesting reason to see me. So I went and then helped him carry the rest of his groceries up to his place. It was 10 p.m. by this time, and he asked me to stay for a bit, then asked if I'd stay the night. It was nice to snuggle, but I didn't put all my heart into it for sure. On the drive last night, he picked up on the fact that something was wrong. I told him to leave it alone. What am I supposed to say? Yeah, my angels keep telling me to send love to you, that our auras have merged and we're going to be married or we're going to get back together and get married? Yeah, no. So I was feeling all this tension of, like it was just so confusing seeing him because my angels were saying one thing. What was happening between us was completely not the same thing. It was confusing.
For the most part, I was just treating her like a friend, except for odd, I'll call them weak moments.
Yes.
But yeah, with my karmic relationship also right there on my shoulder, I was really going nowhere literally with either of them.
Yeah. So now this is June 21st in my journal, and we have some more bleeping moments, so Rob's going to help me with some bleeping.
Okay,
we're starting
there.
Yes.
Bleep.
I'd really like something to hurry up and happen. I'm sick of sitting in boredom. A
bleeping
year, and I'm still sitting around, still waiting. I just called Rob, and he's all crazy, hyper cooking, doing laundry, and getting ready to go to football. It's going to take a
bleeping
miracle to slow him down. I'm so sick of all this. My angels weren't joking when they said they know I want something to happen. No,
bleep.
It gets harder and harder to pull myself out of bed each day when I don't even have hope in hell of anything happening. It's just all blackness. I think I'll go back to sleep. So, frustrated, just feeling so discouraged because I'm being told all these wonderful, beautiful things and I don't see any of it happening.
When I'm not around her, I'm just out living a attempted new life, doing all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
Still trying to play my football and go ride my bike and everything else.
Being crazy intense.
Very intense.
Yeah.
Staying busy, probably distracting myself.
Yes, exactly. So now this is June 22nd, just the day after. I said I didn't write last night because I couldn't. I was way too angry. However, now I'm writing because I'm so angry that I need to release it somehow. This again is the gift of my journals. I was so grateful back then because it's how I coped. It's how I got through it. I wrote everything. So I said I was feeling hopeless again last night and couldn't stop crying. I felt so lonely and stuck in a black hole. I tried to call Beth, but she wasn't home. Then a bit later, the phone rang. It was Rob. He wanted to know if I wanted to go to the airport.
The airport.
Our famous airport. I really didn't want to spend more time with him getting more hopeless, but it was better than being alone for another 1,000
bleeping
hours.
Good thing I was trying to keep track.
Yes. So I went. He was all unimpressed about his football game. He talked about humans have a need to be needed. No.
Bleeping. Bleep.
No one's got to tell me that. Anyway, I guess he ain't impressed because he hardly gets to play in the games. So I listened and validated, and then he felt a bit better. It was fun watching the planes, and I did learn more. I now understand why Rob goes out to see planes when he feels down. He knows planes. He has confidence in himself there. He's still not doing well. He has highs and lows, and we discussed the fact that he's an adrenaline junkie. So when he ain't high on adrenaline, he's miserable. He said he's feeling like he could crash again if he's not careful.
Yeah, right about that time I was coming off of antidepressants that had gone on for my crash. I'd come off them, and it had taken a couple of weeks for them to work their way out of my system. So I was just actually starting to stand on my own 2 feet again, and I was enjoying that feeling. I was terrified with how I was feeling when I was on the calming drugs. But to stand on my own feet again so soon after my crash, I was taking a chance. So I was still being delicate with myself and gentle. And I wasn't working full hours at work yet, but I was starting to push myself again. Probably my lack of motivation from being numbed on antidepressants also caused me to not play football very well, which was why I was spending a lot of time standing on the sidelines. I probably just didn't have any passion for the game right at that point.
Good point. Good point. So I wrote, he needs to start looking inward at himself and why he is the way he is. Pisses me off. Anyway, we got on the topic of me not working and how all of his friends have separated themselves from me because I can't live in the real world and get a job.
I was taking some encouragement from a few people who knew Angie as well as knew me very well. And I was being told to take some distance from her because the way I was reading it, she was going through a real tough time and couldn't pull her stuff together. And that's what they were saying too. And plus they'd seen me go through a crash because I was trying so hard to make things work from what it looked like from their outside point of view. So I was being encouraged to stay away from Angie by people who were close to me.
And they were also starting to see that I was not balanced. I was not grounded. They called me Angel Angie and not in a nice, positive, friendly way.
Yes.
So I told him I was surprised he was still in my life. Then he was asking questions about what I'm doing and why. Not putting me on the spot. He was actually just curious and wanting to understand. But because of my unsureness and insecurities with it all, I got defensive. I told him to either shut up and accept me for who I am or get out of my life. He looked at me and smiled. I told him I was serious. Then I got off the elevator, came home, and slammed the door. Ooh, so yeah, I was stressed, frustrated, very insecure. I mean, I was doubting this stuff myself. So to try and explain it to somebody else, last thing I wanted to do. I just wanted off the roller coaster.
A few days ago, when Angie showed me this bit that I smiled when she was getting all upset at me, it caused me to remember why I smiled. In my first marriage, it turned out that my go-go-go-ness had been very toxic to the person I was married to. And it was not good for her. I was just not a good fit. It was poisonous to the way that she wanted to live. And we basically broke up with me letting her go to live the life that she wanted to live.
Yeah.
And now I was just getting the same vibes, same style of vibes from Angie, that whatever I was doing was just no good for her. And I started to see the parallels. And when I was smiling, I think I was recognizing that I had another avenue of understanding that I could use to let Angie leave my life. I was getting another bit of strength from a different angle.
Yeah. And you were doing it for my benefit, thinking that you weren't serving me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wrote some more. There's a bleep for you to start
with. Oh, good. Bleep.
I have so much doubt about what I'm doing. How do I know if any of this is even true?
Bleep.
I'm sitting home, completely bored, lonely, feeling useless and helpless. Hopeless, sitting on welfare, barely making it by every month.
What the bleep
am I doing? Am I
bleeping
crazy? I'm feeling stupid, having angels tell me a bunch of bullshit that doesn't even happen.
Bleep shit.
Your fade away too. Surprises are here. For
bleep
sake, that was a
bleeping
month ago. Where the hell are the
bleeping
surprises? It's hard to read this stuff that's all anger and frustration.
Oh, it's total anger.
And I'm laughing because of his
I'm surprised
bleeping.
She didn't throw the book across the room when she was writing this, or maybe she did.
I might have. What? They figure if they give me poetry, I'll believe?
What the bleep
do I have to believe in? They give me words that mean nothing. They say stuff that's not true.
What the bleep
am I supposed to believe? I've been sitting on welfare for 5 months doing
bleep
all, but working on myself and sending love. Sending love.
Bleep.
Like that's really going to help Rob. I don't see a
bleeping
bit of help it's doing for him.
Not much was helping me at that time. I was just trying to exist.
Yeah.
Recovering from crash, trying to let go of one person, trying to keep another person in my life. I was just a blender.
Oh,
I was my own mess.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share this because after all the bleeping, I wanted to share that, I wasn't a horribly negative person all the time. This is now June 24th. I was writing bored out of my mind, fed up, feeling nuts, lonely, purposeless, blah, blah, blah. Let's be expressive. And then I even put in brackets in my journal, next page, see next page. So I started at the top, forgive the top title or the top words.
Bleep, 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 bleep.
But then I wrote love, 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 love. I was trying to shift my energy. I was doing whatever I could to focus. And you could see at the bottom, I even wrote 95 loves. How's that for positive? So I was trying, even in my frustration, my discouragement, my hopelessness.
There's many different ways to shift energy, and I thought that was kind of neat. To start out totally negative and say, hey, let's move a different direction. Let's try to manifest something different.
Yeah, I was doing my best. Then I have my angels. They're hardly talking to me now because, they're not telling me I need to send love to Rob anymore. But they did give me some words of trying to encourage me. They said, the rewards have only just begun and will continue. The work you have done does not even compare to all the joy that awaits you. The pain was but a microsecond compared to all the joy you will experience. Now, why I wanted to read that is because it so fits for everybody on this journey. When we're focused on the pain and all the heartache and, all the discouraging parts of it, it feels eternal. It feels like this is never going to end. But when the angels say it's like a microsecond in the big scheme of things, I mean, again, to them, time doesn't even exist.
Yeah, they don't get this time thing still. If Angie didn't say it, I was going to say it. A microsecond so far, we're what, 5-6 months in?
Yeah.
That's a microsecond.
Yeah.
Nope.
But they're just trying to let us know that, you know what, you will get through this. They're giving me encouragement any way they could. So now I'm sharing June 25th. I went out with my friend Beth because she was in my Reiki class. We were now doing Reiki with each other on a very regular basis when the angels would let us meet. And she was channeling angels as well. So what was interesting is she was getting the same messages I was getting. Even if I wasn't telling her what I was getting, she would validate what I was getting through what she would get. So it's interesting, she was getting from the angels that the reason I'm not supposed to get a job is because that I would use it as an escape to go within. The angels know that I'm a very intense kind of person that likes tasks, that likes to be busy, that is a workaholic, and they knew if I had a job, I would not face all the healing that I had to do. So they were like, nope, you can't work. The other message she got from them was about time. Funny enough, we just talked about this. The angel said through her, channeled through her, that our time is not that theirs. They wish they could get rid of our clocks and calendars. Time is irrelevant to them. They say I'm not to look back and say, I've been at this for a year, or it's been 2 weeks since, etc., etc. So they're trying to reinforce to me, stay in the now, because that's really all there is. Then, again, through my friend, they channeled a message saying that Rob and I have joined, that even though I don't see it yet, it has happened. That again, their time is not ours, and for them, past, present, and future is all one. Okay, so Robert and I are together. I get it, I think, is what I wrote.
Glad Angie didn't show me this back in 1998, because I wouldn't have got it.
No, I didn't really get it then either. I was just starting to grasp the whole concept that time didn't really exist. Then, this is kind of funny, I wrote, well, they weren't joking about wanting to get rid of our time. I just realized I put my watch down to do Reiki, and I guess I didn't pick it back up, because I don't have it. I'm kind of disappointed. I quite like that watch. Oh well, let it go, I guess. So, it's funny, they literally tried to get rid of my time. Now, this is where it gets a bit interesting. This is June 26th. And it's funny, as I was reading this, preparing for the video, I'm like, what's going on? And I had to scurry to get my next journal because I'm at the end of this one to figure out what's happening. So much like you guys when you're waiting for our next video, I'm waiting too as I'm reading this because we've forgotten a lot of our past. We've had to survive. It was painful. So anyway, the angels are saying, we love you, dear one, and we are here kissing away your tears. Dear one, it is all okay. We know it looks bleak and hopeless, but remember with love, it is never hopeless. Never. We are here and we are with Robert. All is well. All is well. Robert will be okay. And that's what I'm like, what do you mean he'll be okay? What's going on? He is going through his own growth right now. He's learning of love, true unconditional love. He knows he loves you, but he now is learning the lesson you learned a bit ago. He is learning of true unconditional love, what it means to love no matter what. Just as you learned the lesson very quickly, so will he. We did tell you that you'd both get the learning quickly. Love speeds up the process. Remember, you're going to learn a very powerful lesson through all of this. A very powerful lesson of the effects of love. How healing, beneficial, and miraculous love is. You still see all of this love sending as a waste. You will see it is not so. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Then this is now June 27th in my journal, and I said, not the best sleep in the world, but not the worst either. I think I've figured out the purpose of my insomnia. I was literally awake at 3 in the morning. I mean, as if I had nothing to do all day. Now I had to be awake half the night too. Oh my God, it was hell. I said, I've learned the purpose of my insomnia, so I'd be so tired that I wouldn't fight or care anymore. Guess what? I'm there. I just don't have the will or energy anymore. I woke up thinking of Rob's letter. Rob's letter. Okay, so that's what the angels were talking about. So Rob wrote me a letter. Do you want to talk now a little bit about the letter?
No, I'll let you continue.
Okay. So I woke up thinking about Rob's letter. It was like, oh well, I don't have the energy to do anything about it. If God and my angels want us together, they can damn well do it themselves, because I've had enough. My whole being is tired. My body, my mind, and especially my soul. Whatever. I don't care. I just don't give a shit about money.
Bleep.
I don't know. I figured shit was okay. I don't know how much I still need for rent, but it'll be more today because I plan to go buy a new journal, even if it is a $12 one. In other words, I'm desperate. I need my next journal because I got 2 pages left in the one that I'm currently reading, and it's my coping mechanism.
You must have had a lot of pens.
I think I did. Yes,
Okay.
Pens I had no shortage of. Journals, on the other hand, it was a crisis when I ran out of a journal. It was like, oh my God, how else am I going to cope? So I said, I keep being told that I have some huge mission, that I won't falter. Fine then, they can deal with my money issue and my relationship. If miracles are to happen, then let them happen. I don't got the energy to care, try, or fight anymore. I just don't. I'm so far at the end that I don't know if I'll ever get out of my hole. They can deal with that too. I've done everything they've asked of me. So I've done my part, and I don't give a
bleeping
about the rest. So I read that because, I understand where some of you guys are at too. The discouragement, the exhaustion, I've done everything. I don't know what else to do.
And the lack of seeing any results other than just destruction or continued lack of zero progress.
So at that point, and sometimes we are guided to get to the complete exhaustion, so we will surrender. Some of us, if you're like me, I'm not real good at surrender. I need to be beaten over the head before I'll let go, detach, move away. So they had to do everything they had to do to get me to the point of surrender. I was there.
Well, also in my own way, with my crash, I'd been forced to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop my life for about 6 weeks and just veg out. So yeah. I'd been through my own corner of that, but I was, as much as I was starting to learn, I wasn't really at a point where surrendering was something that I understood to be beneficial. Yeah. It was just a big annoyance, whether it was good for me or not.
So now we're at June 29th in my journal. I said I went back to sleep for a while and dreamt that Rob gave me another note through my door. Okay, so at least I gave myself some clues of what happened. So Rob put a note under my door, or a letter. Do you want to share now what about that, or do you want me to just keep reading?
Just keep reading.
Okay. I still feel no need or desire to write him back. There's nothing left to say. We've tried and said everything. I've put it in God's hands because I've done all I can. There's nothing left for me to try, do, or say. I've done more than my share, and no one can ask me any more. Plus, I just don't have the energy. I can barely crawl out of bed in the mornings. 7 years of chasing Rob number 1, this was the Rob from high school, taught me a lot. I can't convince anyone to love me, nor can I change anyone to the way I wish them to be. It's not up to me. My job is to become the best person I can be and support others in their own life, to allow, not to change. It's amazing how the mind, after working and working and working, can just finally say enough.
My letters that I had written were intended to let go some more. They were intended to say a goodbye, to let her go live her life because I was being toxic. They were, I wish I still had the ability to read them again. Yeah. I was probably being my usual attempt to being kind. That I said I love you in the letters. I know I did. Yes, you did. Which
you've been denying it for a while, but
yes.
Now you finally admitted that you still love me.
But in the spirit of not contacting her directly, I was popping a letter or two under her door.
So this is where we talked a while ago, a couple videos ago, if we couldn't remember if that was the time back then when we were sharing or if it happened in the future. Here it is.
The future is now.
Yes. So yeah, he had written this letter in reaction to my either accept me for who I am or get out of my life. And I was serious. I didn't want him to leave, but I couldn't live anymore in this like two worlds of sort of being with him and not telling him what was going on, but living the crazy life I was living. It was getting too hard, too confusing. So he finally honored me and was like, okay. Not in a mean way. He was just like, if you need me to go, I'll go. And that's where my angels were saying that's unconditional love. When somebody loves you but is willing to let you go because they honor your own path, that's unconditional love. So I was saying that I just have nothing left to fight. That's probably exactly where my angels want me to be. That way they can do what they need to do. Well, it's yours, angels. Take it away. Do what you wish. In other words, I was just like, whatever. I'm so done.
Angie at this point is giving up.
Oh, completely.
She's
exhausted.
Yeah.
I had done so much work. So now, June 30th, I said, I still think of Rob lots. I go to sleep holding my teddy bear and thinking of snuggling with Rob. I read his letter about once a day and always think, at least he said he still loves me. So I do feel sad that I do not have the letter anymore. Much like Rob, who kept my stuff, I didn't keep his because part of my way of getting him out of my life back then, well, when I tried, was to rip up the letters. Did it work? Yeah, no.
That'll be coming up in a couple, 3 videos from now.
So I said, you know, if I were to write a letter back to him, I'm not sure what I'd say. Thank you for respecting and loving me enough to not stand in the way of what I need to do. I pray every day that we can continue in the future, because that's one of the things he said in what he wrote to me.
Yes.
And sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I did write that, so it comes up in a few readings that I actually wrote a bit of what he said to me. I love you and wish to marry you and live a spiritual life with you, with God as our guide. You are my true soulmate, and we agreed in the spirit world to come together and do this work for God and the world. Our love is strong enough to change the world. I'm thankful that you love me unconditionally and love me enough to put my needs of growth before your needs of being with me. We have a love that's very rare in this world. We have a true, mature, real love. And we're going to bring about major changes and healing in this world because of that love. Of course, that's what the angels were telling me, so I believed them. I've been working hard to keep us together, sending you love all day and all night for months now. I pray daily, hourly, minutely for us, for what is highest and best. I ask God to keep you in my life if it's right, but also let you go if that's what's better. You're a very special person to me, and we've shared so much and grown so much. Our love has grown stronger and deeper and truer with each challenge we have faced. You are a remarkable man, and I have learnt so much from you and with you. I've always wondered what love truly is, but with you I no longer wonder. I have discovered the answer from all we've been through. Love is unconditional, forgiveness, patience, acceptance, listening, giving, sharing.
And it goes on for pages.
Pages. I wrote, you know that Bible verse, love is, I think it's Corinthians something. I wrote my own version without even trying. So there's 2 more pages, and then it goes on again another page. Here. I might actually type all this out. I'm not going to read all this, but I might type this out and share it on our page. Our Facebook page, that is. So after all of this writing, I said, how's that for what I could say in a letter? Now, I didn't say that in a letter to him because it just, I was already accepting we were in 2 different worlds. He wasn't going to resonate with it. That's why we were being pulled apart. We just weren't fitting. So, yeah, I wrote it in my journal. I had all these things I could say to him, but I didn't write him a letter. So now this is later the same day, and I said, I'm having trouble with tears. I keep thinking of Robert and wanting him in my arms, wanting him with me. I feel so tempted to go up to his place. And then what, though? It's not right. In other words, I knew that there was just nothing left. God, I'm driving myself nuts with all this. I just can't continue on this path any longer. Does that feel familiar to some of you? I read in the group, so many of you like, I just want off this path. Good luck.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of stuck on it, but I felt it too. I just can't continue on this path any longer. I just want the love I've worked so hard for. I want the man I've been sending love to, and I want so bad to be held in his arms, to snuggle deeply into his chest. I've never missed him like I do now. I just so miss being close. Oh, rough days. Now, this is July 1st. I said, this is all so insane. No Rob, no money, and now I have Vic just calling, wondering about, sorry, we faded there, wondering about rent. Bleep. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were following, so I bleeped myself.
Wasn't quite following.
What are you all doing to me? Why am I going through this? I'm sick of dealing with all this, and I don't know how to get out of it. I get mixed messages between I'm in control of my life and creating whatever I want, and it's God's timing, and you must wait on Him. So, again, I know you guys in the groups are like, well, there's divine timing, yet I'm told I can create and manifest. Frustrating. Yes, frustrating. I hear you. Then, this is the same day later in the evening that I was writing. I said it was great to work today. For Elizabeth, this was my Reiki teacher that I was now still working for and as assistant. I said I buried myself in work and forgot all about Rob, rent, God, everything. It was nice. I worked for 6 hours pretty much straight. See, this is why I'm not allowed to have a real job. I'd throw myself into work. I would surely become a workaholic to cope. My angels know that, and that's why they've kept me at home with books. If I'm going to work, they want me to learn of spiritual stuff, not worldly stuff. And now this is later the same day. Now you can see my emotions are all over the place. It's crazy. 1 minute I'm okay, everything makes sense. The next minute I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then now I'm sharing more tears. I'm down by the river crying. I just don't know how to get through this anymore. What? What do you want of me? I just don't know how else to cope anymore. I feel so bored, so lonely, and so non-productive. I'm working so hard to stay positive and keep my focus on Robert and myself. God, it all just feels endless. Are you out there at all, God? Do you hear me? Hello? Please give me hope. Please. I keep working, trusting, and praying with no results. And I keep wondering if you're even out there. Do you hear me? I know I haven't been through all of this for no reason. I know there is a purpose, and I know I've been asked to send love for a reason. God, please let me see and feel the rewards of all my work and learning and growing. You said you wouldn't let me falter. I need rent money, and more importantly, I need Robert. So now the financial struggle's coming back. I'm struggling over this whole thing with Rob, feeling sad about the letter and him trying to let me go. In a rough place. This is now July 2nd. I was on my way home from Elizabeth's when I was guided to take a different way. I ended up on Elbow Drive, my favorite place. It made me think of Rob when 2 weeks ago we went to get gas, then drove home on Elbow. So that was the night he called just for the excuse of, hey, do you want to come get gas with me? Yeah. Funny excuse to see me. I totally remember that.
I needed any excuse. I also was probably looking for something that would only take a little bit of time.
Oh, God. It was funny. So what am I saying here? I'm talking about thinking of what I could say to Rob in a letter again. I said, the major one is you have not failed in our relationship. It was my growth that really pulled us apart. I don't understand it, and sometimes I wish I could just walk away from it all. Walk away and have a normal life with a 9-to-5 job. But I can't. It's a force stronger than me that keeps pulling me back. I try to quit, but I keep getting pulled back. I want so bad to be with you, to share the love we have that is so deep. I miss being with you. I miss the laughter and the tears. I miss sleeping beside you. I miss being held in your arms. I miss the drives and the hikes. I miss the intimacy, our deep talks, sharing my life with you. I miss it all. I miss you and the love we share. I miss our souls in a beanbag chair. If you remember Rob's beanbag chair. Do you want to reiterate your beanbag chair story?
Yes, a beanbag chair where you nestle into it and it's just even pressure all the way around you and it just fits. Yes.
Yeah, that was from our very first days together. He talked about our souls in a beanbag chair. And I'm like, I even missed that. So I said, I want us to be on the same path. I want us to grow closer and closer in love and God. I want us to dedicate our lives to helping others find, know, and experience love. Again, because that's what my angels were telling us our mission was. I want us to dedicate our lives to God and His work of healing the world. It may sound flaky and romantic, but I believe it to be true. I believe in love, and I believe in us. Please say you do too. So again, this is all I'm writing in my journal. I had all these things that I would love to share with him in a letter, but I was like, what's the point? It's not going to make any sense.
And in the meanwhile, I'm more and more distant.
Yeah.
I'm barely in touch.
You're not in touch. Since your letter,
yeah.
we're not communicating anymore.
So I'm just gone. I'm on my next phase of my life as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you're trying to detach from me and move on. So I said I can't quit as much as I wish I could at times because of the love. Love keeps pulling me back to this path where I belong. I can't let go of the love, but I also can't let go of you and us because we have that powerful love. It's the love in both of these paths and in us that keeps pulling me both ways. The same force is pulling me in two directions. I find that fascinating how I wrote that, because yes, it was. I was being pulled in one direction to live this spiritual life of sending love, but I was feeling pulled to him all the time too because of the love we had. But they felt like two different worlds because he was not in my world and I wasn't in his world. So I was saying love does not feel logical. It's not always about following rules we wish for it to follow. It doesn't always take us on the path we wish to go. But because it is love, and love is the most important thing in the world, it's the right path to take, even if it makes no logical sense. I keep trying to convince my rational mind of all this, to little avail. But again, love is not logical. It's not something my mind can really grasp. All I know is the forces of my heart and soul are stronger than my mind. My mind wants so bad to quit all of this ridiculous God stuff. I'm a very logical, rational person by natural state, so I don't blame anyone for walking out of my life. In fact, I quite understand. I want to walk out of my life too. How can I expect others to stand by me and support me when I'm having trouble doing the same? So I can't expect others to understand where I'm at and what I'm doing, when I myself continue to struggle with it on a daily basis. I'm doing my best to accept that I'm being pulled by a force much stronger than me, and I need to follow where it leads, even if it must go alone. So, oh man, just feeling so hopeless, really wanting to share all this with him, but thinking, what's the point? You mentioned in your letter, pray that we can continue in the future. I wish you knew how much I pray, daily, hourly, minutely. I keep asking, begging, and pleading for God to help me make things right, to either bring me back into your world and on your path, or you onto mine. I send you thoughts of love both night and day, literally. God, you don't know how much I pray. I keep trying to believe that God knows what he's doing and that things will work out for the both of us. Then my last bit that I wrote here is I've needed the break from writing for the past couple days. It's gotten really hard to cope. Sleep and music are the only things keeping me going. So just in really rough shape. I was really not doing well and worried about rent and sad about things with Rob. Just a lot to cope with. I did get a bit of a boost on Friday, though. Rob slid another note under my door saying he wanted to call me, but decided it wouldn't be appropriate. He also wrote that he thinks of me every day and misses being in touch with me. Aw. So he's still missing me, and I'm still missing him, and we're trying to not communicate, but here we are putting notes under each other's door.
Again.
It was a way to communicate. I read his note over and over and over. I miss him too. God knows I think of him every day, more like every hour. After I got his letter, I wanted to respond, but the words just weren't coming. Finally, Saturday morning, I was able to write a bit. I told him I think of him every day. I miss him as well, and that I pray lots for us and feel there is nothing left to say or do, that it's up to God now. I explained that I've been asked to do many things that I don't even understand, and that I have done everything I can now, and it's up to God. I explained that I'm not angry with him, just tired and frustrated, that's all. So I responded to his note with a note of my own on Saturday. I haven't heard anything since. Who knows? All I know is that I think of him almost constantly, and I miss him terribly. There's so much I miss about him. His touch, his kiss, his I love yous. But I just keep trusting God knows what he's doing, and whatever happens is for the best. Oh, man. So notes under the doors because we're trying to not communicate. We're trying to pull away from each other for like what, the third, the fourth time now?
Still not quite working.
Yeah.
But it's working better than it ever had.
Yes.
But there still is notes.
Yes. Still notes. So I think that's it for this time, unless you have anything else to add.
Nothing else.
All right. Well, we love you guys. Remember, as always, to connect with your twin, go within, and we will chat another week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.